In this video, we will discuss deploying data from a sandbox to production in both Data Loader and in Prodly DevOps. Let's start in Data Loader. We will be taking a look at dataloader.io for the purpose of this video, but the process is similar for the Salesforce Data Loader download. For this example, I have made some updates to my price rules for Salesforce CPQ as well as related objects. This means that I have to move all of those objects over to make sure that I have the correct data in my production data model. First, I need to log into Data Loader for my staging org. Then I click Export, select the price rule object, and then select any related fields that I want to move over as well, and then export. I now must do this process over again for each related object. This means I must have intimate knowledge of the data model I'm using. Once downloaded, I must put each object's export into a spreadsheet. Because Salesforce object IDs are different from org to org, I will have to run a VLOOKUP. This means I have to go into my destination org, pull all of the object IDs, create a table, and run a VLOOKUP so I have the proper IDs in my export for import. And this is just for one object. Think of all of the related objects for a project like Salesforce CPQ. CPQ datasets can have over 50 relational objects. Once I have exported each object, properly adjusted their object ID with VLOOKUPs, I now must import my objects one by one into my destination org. After all that work, what if I mapped something incorrectly? What if I get an error but have no way of knowing what is mapped incorrectly and what needs to be redone? As you can see, this is a long and complicated process. Now let's see how Prodly does the same process. No need to know the relationships of my objects, as Prodly has this mapped out in datasets. If you want to learn more about datasets, you can watch the CPQ deployment video linked here. But what's really important to note is that datasets map all of the objects that you would need to deploy. I now go to the Guided Deployment tab, select my source and destination, and then what dataset I want to use. As mentioned, we're using price rules, so this dataset will move the price rule object from my source to destination, as well as all of those related objects. So I only need to do this once. There are plenty of customizable options for what I want to send, but for the sake of comparison to Data Loader, let's go ahead and move all the data from this data set. All that's left to do is click Deploy. After a couple minutes, I can look and see exactly what data I moved. Take a look at all of the records that were moved in the click of a button. Think of how many exports, VLOOKUPs, and imports it would take to do that with Data Loader. Let's recap. With Data Loader, I export object by object, find a way to map my relational objects, do VLOOKUPs to make sure I have the correct record IDs, then import object by object. With Prodly, I make roughly half a dozen clicks and will have all of my data deployed to my destination org in minutes. Interested in learning more about how you can upgrade Data Loader? Visit Prodly.co for a demo of Prodly DevOps today.